Today we will start with viscosity. In that first we will start with terminal velocity.
You will learn to calculate. Let's go into it. You can see that very small drops of rain are falling to the uniform velocity. While the instructs are following the natural relationship of gravity, let's answer this question. Let us perform an activity to understand terminal velocity. Drop a small steel ball into a sugar syrup. At first, the ball accelerates due to gravity and its velocity increases. But then, the ball starts moving with uniform velocity. Let's see why the ball starts falling at a uniform velocity. What forces act on the ball? The ball experiences a downward force due to gravity. This downward force is moving towards the ball.
What is weight of the ball? Mg. That is mass into acceleration.
Anytime the acceleration due to gravity g, the mass is volume times density.
We know that density is equals to mass upon volume, so mass is equals to volume into density. Here rho represents the density. Okay.
Substituting mass, we get the weight of the ball equal to volume v of the solid times the density rho times the acceleration due to gravity g. The ball is in a fluid, hence it also experiences one force in equal direction. Now the ball has to travel through both air and sugar syrup. It will experience one force from both, and the root force of air and ball is very small compared to the gravitational force mg. We can neglect the root force of air. Inside the liquid, the root force is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. The weight of the liquid displaced is the mass of the liquid displaced times the acceleration due to gravity. The mass is volume times the density of the liquid. Thus, the root force will be the volume of the liquid of V displaced times the density of the liquid sigma times the acceleration due to gravity g. Viscous drag, and the ball is falling into the fluid with a velocity v. It experiences viscous drag v net. From center, the viscous drag F is equal to 6 pi r eta v. Note, the liquid object force is not accelerates due to gravity, but as the velocity increases, the viscous drag also increases. All the while, the values of the bond force and the weight remain constant. As the ball falls due to gravity, the velocity increases continuously. This results in a continuous increase in the viscous drag. At a certain magnitude velocity, the viscous drag and the bond force balance the weight of the object. This velocity is
So here you can see if the ball is moving downward. So against to that, some viscous force or we can say viscous drag works in the direction opposite to the direction of this velocity. Okay. So according to Archimedes principle, in previous slides as you have observed, so the total weight or total liquid displaced is equals to the volume of this ball. Clear? So here this force, if this force, dragging force, viscous drag is equals to, if this velocity is equal, this force is equals to the weight, at that time the velocity will remain constant. Clear?
total velocity.
And this velocity is known as the
Velocity gained by a body one point through a viscous medium is called a terminal velocity.
Note it down.
Terminal velocity is uniform. Now the word is nothing but terminal velocity, for which all sound is equal to zero. Neglect the first law of motion. The object will continue with the uniform velocity if the first and second motion is zero. Thus, the object.
What is first law of motion? What is first law of motion? Any object wants to retain their state, either it is rest or motion, until and unless some external force is applied on it. Here you can see the downward force is equals to the upward force, or you can say weight is equals to the dragging viscous drag. So in that case the acceleration is equals to 0. So the ball will get the constant velocity, or ball will move with the constant velocity. Clear?
Neglect all the forces acting on an object at an instant undrawn and angled. This is called the free-body diagram. The free-body diagram gives us the force equation, weight is equal to volume force plus viscous drag. This equation is solved to find the terminal velocity. Calculation of terminal velocity. Using the free-body diagram, the proposed force equation Mg is equal to Fv plus Fv is solved to find terminal velocity by substituting the values of the force during gravity Fg equal to mg buoyant force Fv m dash g and this crystalline Fv 6 pi eta Rb. On something, we get terminal velocity 2 pi now times the radius square times the acceleration due to gravity times the W. M dash g and this crystalline Fv 6 pi eta Rb. Something we get terminal velocity 2 pi now times the radius square times the acceleration due to gravity times the difference in the density of the solid and the fluid divided by the coefficient of viscosity. Let's plot the graph between the velocity of the object falling in the viscous medium and time. The velocity is along the y-axis and the time is along the x-axis. The initial velocity of the object dropped from the top of the liquid column is zero. This is
Initially, here you can see it will drop it from here. What will happen? Initially, its velocity will increase with respect to time, but after some time, the velocity will remain constant. From B to C, it is constant. Up to A, it is linear curve. Means if we drop it from here, here is the first layer of liquid. So up to here, the velocity will increase with respect to time. Clear? So the graph will be linear. So after emerging in water, the graph will be from A to B. Okay? And when it gets the terminal velocity, graph will become straight line. Means no change with respect to time. Its velocity will remain constant.
point below in the graph. The velocity increases due to gravity, but the velocity is also acting. Thus, the velocity increases with the acceleration. This is less than the acceleration due to gravity, as in the region OA. Here, the viscous drag is very little. The increase in the velocity results in a viscous drag. Thus, the rate of increase in velocity decreases significantly along AP. Further increase in velocity also increases the viscous drag. Thus, the weight is balanced 1 watt force and viscous dropping velocity become constant. This is reading VC in the graph. Here, the velocity of the object is constant, which is a terminal velocity. So now we know that a twisted force gently to the ground with terminal velocity because the combination of viscous drag and buoyancy counters the weight of the water drop in fluid air.
Hope you understand about the terminal velocity.
In this module, you will learn about Stokes' law. When a body falls through a fluid or a viscous medium, the layer of the medium in contact with the body is dragged along with it. Hence, this layer moves with the same velocity as that of the body, but the layer far away from the body remains stationary. Thus, a laminar flow is generated in the region between the body and the layer which is far away from it. As a result, the body experiences a retarding force. Here, a viscous force is generated between the consecutive layers of the medium, which results in a resistive force on the moving body. Falling of a raindrop and swinging of a pendulum bob are some common examples of such a motion. It is seen that the viscous force is proportional to the velocity of the object and is opposite to the direction of motion. British scientist George Stokes showed that when a smooth spherical body of radius a and density rho moves with a velocity v in a viscous medium of density rho naught and a coefficient of viscosity of fluid eta, if rho is greater than rho naught, it is acted upon by a viscous force given by F is equal to 6 pi eta RV. Let us now see how we get this expression for force. F is proportional to eta raised to the power a, F is proportional to r raised to the power b, and F is proportional to v raised to the power c. Combining the three equations, we get F is equal to a eta raised to the power a into r raised to the power b into v raised to the power c, where k is a dimensionless constant. Let us now check.
In the application of dimensional analysis, we already used it. No? We have used it now.
Dimensions of eta, r and v. Writing down the dimensions of quantities on either side of the equation, we get nft raised to the power minus 2 is
That is the dimensional of
Fn raised to the power minus 1 t raised to the power minus 1 whole raised to the power a into l raised to the power b into l t minus 1 whole raised to the power c.
So from here, m raised to the power a, l raised to the power minus a plus b plus c, t raised to the power minus a minus c. Here, m raised to the power a, l raised to the power minus a plus b plus c, t raised to the power minus a minus c.
Which is equal.
With the help of this equation, can we say the value of a is 1, minus a plus b plus c is equals to 1. Clear? Minus a minus c is equals to minus 2. So if we solve it, the value of a is 1. Clear? So from third equation, minus a minus c is equals to minus 2. Put it over here. Here it will become minus 1. So minus c is equals to minus 1. Okay, so c is equals to again 1. So put that value in this equation, you will get the value of a.
And raised to the power al raised to the power minus a plus b plus c t raised to the power minus a minus c. Equating the powers of n, l and t of both sides, we get a equal to 1 minus a plus b plus c equal to 1 and minus a minus c equal to minus 2.
So value of C is 1, value of A is 1, value of C is minus 1.
On solving, we get a is equal to 1, b is equal to 1 and c is equal to 1. This gives f is equal to k theta rb. K is experimentally bound to be 6 pi. Therefore, f is equal to 6 pi theta.
Not enough.
Is Stokes' law. In this module, you have learned what is
Clear? So this is the
body
step
of
Stokes' law
and density.
and discuss it. Okay. In next class, we will discuss about the Reynolds. Critical velocity we have done now. Terminal velocity. In next class, we will discuss about the critical